This Monday on Good Morning Wilmington with Nadj and Jay, celebrity chef Dana Herbert is in the kitchen serving up some delicious holiday dishes. Brianna Hansen stops in to let you know what's happening around the city of Wilmington. Plus, Cherné Altovise joins us to share her small business success story. All that and more Monday at 10 a.m. on DETV.
This is DETV's Good Morning Wilmington with Nadj and Jay. Hey, Jay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm ready for today. We got a lot of good stuff.
We got a lot of great stuff. We have Brianna Hansen. We have Cherné Altovise. We have an interview that I pre-recorded with my high school. We got John Grant and Anthony Palella, and they're going to talk to us a little bit about DMA and their open enrollment. And then we also have Chef Dana.
Yay.
So this is going to be a good show.
Chef Dana is like, okay, I'm already hungry. I'm starving right now.
Yes.
So I'm super stoked for what you have prepared. Can we talk already about what you got going on over there?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so right now I'm all prepped up to make a beef bourguignon. It's kind of like a French form or a fancy form of a stew. You know, with it being cold outside, we want to do a little something to warm those bones up.
Yes.
And for dessert, we're going to do just a classic bread pudding.
Wait, say it's a beef, what? How do you pronounce it? I want to make sure I say it right.
Don't ask me to spell it. Beef bourguignon.
Bourguignon?
Bourguignon.
Bourguignon. We say bourguignon. Is that
We fancy today.
Yes. So what does that entail? What's in there?
So the beef bourguignon, it's got a lot of the stew ingredients in there. You know, you have the onions, you have some carrots, some mushrooms. We have a little beef, of course. We have some bacon, a little thyme, a little bay leaf.
That's our favorite.
Is it a rule of thumb? Like, you know, in my small world of cooking, basically, if you put bacon on anything, it makes it better. Is that a rule within the supreme chef world?
I tend to agree with you because, I mean, I even put bacon on desserts. Like, you do a peach cobbler, I'm doing bacon ice cream.
Child.
You know? So I'm with you, Jay.
Is there any kind of bacon that you prefer? Like just bacon? Like, or you kind of find a specific kind of bacon?
I mean, I'll eat all the bacon. But
Give him all the bacons.
applewood, I like that quite a bit. I do like the cherry wood or the honey cured.
Honey cured.
Honey cured.
I have a very specific kind that I get now at Trader Joe's. I don't know the actual name of it.
Bottom line.
How do you make your bacon? Like, how do you create it? Like, how do you cook it? I have kind of not super snotty, but like I have a way that
I'm sure you do.
How do you make your bacon?
I cook it.
How do you cook it?
Oh my.
Do you boil it?
No. I put my bacon in the oven on the sheet.
On what kind of sheet?
The sheet that it go on.
I put mine on wax paper, and it makes it the wax paper.
This better not turn into another coffee segment. Sam, I'm telling you right now,
My
you ain't
bacon,
coming here to make no bacon.
It's a short amount of time, but I put it on the wax paper and I drain it, and it comes out. I think I make really, really good bacon. I could be wrong, and I'm sure that it's not as good as yours, but.
Like you make really good coffee.
So I'm not going to pull cards right now, but I'll tell you this much. When Brianna comes on screen, we're going to have a quick little conversation about the coffee because I have an ally right now in coffee, and I might just open up that Pandora's box. Kick rocks.
So, Chef Dana, what is your favorite holiday dish?
Favorite holiday dish? I would probably say my favorite holiday dish might be a blueberry croissant bake.
Ooh,
that is good.
Blueberry croissant
Oh, goodness.
bake. I don't know what that is, but I love croissants and I love
so
blueberries.
Right.
So tell us about that.
It's almost in that bread pudding-like family. So you take the blueberries, you take the croissants, you mix them all up, a little bit of sugar. But then I like to, for the mixture I soak it in, I'll take a little bit of yogurt, a little bit of orange juice, just a little bit of milk. And then the croissants soak it up, and then you bake it, and it comes out awesome.
What in
That sounds absolutely amazing.
We are just so honored to have such brilliance in this. patient.
Yeah, yeah.
swear.
And with the bread pudding you're doing today, is there any twist on it? Is it just bread pudding, or you know?
This one's just going to be classic. I like to put a little bit of sweetened condensed milk in my mixture. Some people just do all milk. I think that sweetened condensed milk just gives the flavor just a little bit more depth.
Okay, you're already kind of speaking over my head. I kind of get it, but
He been speaking.
like, listen, I'm just excited
Jay
to
is
eat.
literally a man, a can, and a microwave, okay? And you talk about condensed, saute.
A man, a can, and a microwave. Did you just make that up, or is that a thing?
It's an actual book.
Oh, okay. A man, a can, and a microwave.
That's you.
That's pretty ding dong accurate, actually. That's really funny. But I get. Well, yeah. I make a mean steak though. I do make a really good steak in the cast iron pan. So.
Like I said, what we not gonna do is have another coffee segment, okay? But
it's coming.
But that's why we got Chef Dana up here with the. We still calling it the side dish? Is that no? We're
Oh
not?
no, Chef. Are we
Okay,
still calling
he
it
just over here with the dishes. the good,
Look,
the
I
good dishes.
skated through the last time on side dish. I don't know how to explain it twice.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, so we're excited to see what the outcome of the meal is.
Yes.
I do want to talk to you, Jay, about the YAP program.
Sure.
So I don't know if you guys have read the news over the weekend, but there have been a few deaths in Wilmington, shooting deaths of young children, and also there was an arrest of around 16 people in Wilmington.
Young people.
And they were all really young. And as you all know or may not know, Jay works with the YAP program, which stands for...
The Youth Advocate Program.
Right, and he is...
I'm an advocate, so I'm a youth advocate with the program. Right?
Yes, and he's always talking about his kids, and he's not talking about his ones at home. He's talking about the ones that he helps out in different areas of the state, and a lot of them actually are involved in these types of situations.
Absolutely.
And, if you could just give us a little bit of insight on that.
So, yeah, I started working with the YAP program, I think at this point, maybe for about 4 to 5 years. Like, so the program apparently has been around in, different iterations, but new management takeover was started maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And actually, Ian Jahidi Smith, Jahidi, he's the person who, runs the program and started the new iteration of it.
Who is very fly, by the way.
I love...
His Instagram, okay. I see you.
I love him on several different levels. I love him as a musician, and I could turn this whole segment, honestly, into just talking about him. And I could go off track quickly. But the funniest thing is, if it weren't for the motorcycles, I would not have come into contact with Ian. It was a whole roundabout way that through motorcycling, I was introduced to him. And he, said, yeah, I'm hiring for the program, and this is what it is. And he brought me on as one of the sort of initial teammates for the program. And basically, it started out as a program specifically for adjudicated youth coming out of fairs, pretty much all between the ages of about 15, 16 to 18, 19 at the most. And they are all, they all have gun charges. And they're adjudicated charges. Basically, that means that the charges don't become official if they complete the program. So they get out of Ferris a few months earlier than they normally would, with the understanding that they have to participate in the program. And the program is basically, I have a caseload of young men, and my objective is ultimately to do whatever it takes, working with the whole family, working with the school, and obviously the individual, to make sure that they don't get in trouble again. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. And I've been doing that for, like I said, about 4 or 5 years. I've worked with young people pretty much all of my adult working life. And when I moved back to Wilmington from Lancaster, so I took like a small hiatus away from working with young people to kind of help out my best friend run his business. But it's something that's in me. It's like music. Like, you might take a break from music for a year or two, but it's like it'll call you back. And that was sort of my first step back into working with kids once I got back to Wilmington.
Right.
So that's what the program is in a nutshell.
So for the people who don't, how can I ask this? For people like me, because I'm sure there are people like me out there. When you said these are kids with gun charges, my first thought is, okay, does that mean that they shot someone? Did they just have a gun? Did they kill someone? Like, what does that mean?
So It really, it can be everywhere from the kid was just found in possession of a gun to the full opposite end of the spectrum. So whatever you could do with the gun, and just between any way you could break a law with having a gun, they pretty much for the most part fall within that. These are the kids who are generally doing the most. These are, when you look at the graph, I'm trying to think what the actual term is right now, but they are at that far end of the spectrum. Like these are the most difficult kids, and I chose to work with that population because it's just always been ingrained to me that, you got to give back.
Yeah.
And because I just kind of have a personality that's capable of dealing with difficult personalities, I chose to get involved. And honestly, the funny thing is, and I've said this over and over again, is in as much as they're labeled as problem kids, they're still kids.
Right.
And I still talk to them the same exact way that I do with other kids. It's just the main thing that they need, and it's so simple, is attention, and just the basics. These kids are still kids, and all kids need, safety and love and shelter and education, and you do your best to give that to them under difficult circumstances. You know what I mean? And,
yeah. So what do you think is your biggest challenge when working with these kids?
Their unpredictability. That's the main thing. It's just their lives are naturally so chaotic that things that we take for granted, like, I get up and just go to school every day, and that's just what I do. There's no routine. You know what I mean? You could wake up and get a phone call at 3 in the morning saying that the craziest thing possible is happening right now, and you respond to it. You know what I mean? So you try to supply their needs, but it's the unpredictability. Like just simple things like, hey, I'm going to pick you up at 2 o'clock, and I might have talked to the kid, an hour ago. I'm going to see you at 2, and you get there at 2, and chaos is broken out, or the kid's just not there, just hasn't showed up. You know what I mean? So simple things that you would expect with working with the quote unquote average kid, it's just not there. You know what I mean? So.
Wow. So. I guess it's hard for me at times to really connect with that, because number one, I was raised in the suburbs. My dad was a cop, so like to know, like in school you had kids who had issues or problems, and you saw them act out and they would disappear. And the rumor was back then they went to Ferris, and everybody knew what that was.
Yeah.
So to hear this, what you're doing with them now, and hearing about what you encounter is really eye-opening.
Well, it's funny, man. You say, you're a kid from the suburbs. You went to DMA. Like, I'm a spoiled brat who went to Tower Hill.
Yes,
I went
you
to.
are.
No, I totally am. I'm not trying to hide from that or run from it. Like, I did not grow up in the hood. My dad kept me around a huge spectrum of people so that I'm comfortable anywhere. Like, you can drop me off anywhere,
and
I'm
just a hood problem.
What's that?
Like, is it just a hood problem?
It's most kids. Most of these kids are coming from poverty for sure. And it's not. That is the root problem. You know what I mean? It's poverty. Every now and then you'll find a kid who's coming from a more well-to-do, background, but 9 times out of 10 for sure, that's what it is. But I say that I am not from that to make the point that anyone can get involved with
anyone
them
can get involved
and be effective.
Right.
It's certainly important that they have people in the program who do understand and are sort of from from a difficult environment, but I'm not. I come from a very easy background, but that's the whole point, is that they just need the basics.
They just need that acknowledgement and that attention. Well, we'll definitely get into this again, because just like I am very interested, I'm sure there are others who are interested and would probably be open to joining in on helping out. So
we got to have Ian Smith. We got to have Jahidi on, because he runs the program. Plus, he's a phenomenal musician.
Definitely.
So that's my dude.
So next, we're gonna have Brianna Hansen come on and talk to us about INWilmington.
About coffee and her love of coffee and her love of pour-overs.
In Wilmington.
I'm gonna hijack the whole section, and we're gonna talk about nothing but coffee.
Always?
Just no, but we're gonna get into it because she gets it. But no, sorry.
See you in a minute.
Toodles.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Desi, and it's time for Good News. Now, listen, you want to remember to follow us on DETVCH.com, because you may hear your quote. Today's quote is coming from KentPow73 on Instagram, and it's the definition of peace. P equals positivity. E equals energy. A, activates. C, constant elevation. Put it all together. Positive energy activates constant elevation. And that's your definition of peace. It's your girl Desi, and that's your good news. Follow us on DETVCH.com.
Thank you, Desi, for the good news. And right now we're going to check in with Chef Dana to see what's going on in the kitchen.
You smell that deliciousness?
I do smell it.
I smell it.
We're putting that love in the pan.
I am hungry. Tell us where we are in the process.
All right, so we're putting that love in the pan. We got some beef sauteing right now in the pan. I cooked the bacon already, so I've pulled it. I'm just draining it on a little piece of paper towel so it's not too greasy. However, we are using a little bit of that bacon fat to cook the beef in. We're not going to give up on all the flavor. And so now I'm just really seasoning the beef with a little salt and pepper. It's important to do it while it's cooking so it pulls through the food.
Wait, say that again? What do you have to do there?
So your salt and pepper, you should use it while you're cooking the meats because the salt pulls through the meat. And you actually use less sodium later.
Wow.
So just a little trick. I also got some cinnamon caramel going on over here that I did with a little bit of brown sugar, butter, pinch of corn syrup, threw a cinnamon stick in. So we're going to turn that into caramel. And then after that, we're going to start sauteing some of these vegetables. I got the bread pudding. I got the bread all cut up here. I'm going to pour a little something on here right now. And then we're going to go to the oven with that.
I feel like I'm about to start it's church.
Like
it feels like church.
Dirty.
Huh?
Like it's just like.
I was thinking church.
Oh, my
I was about to get the spirit, but you just went into a different direction. You know what I mean? I was about to shout a little bit.
Nobody
You
shout.
know you
First
make
of-
me wanna. Oh, sorry. Okay. So what else do we have? Right. We have my sister in cafe, Brianna Hansen. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to finally be here. It's been fun watching you guys bring this to life over the last couple of weeks.
I'm not even going to open up the
Go
coffee.
ahead.
Look, I'll do it.
Go ahead.
I was making my pour over this morning. You know,
This is a
Chemex,
cult.
the way I go. And I thought to myself, Jay would be proud. And then I realized I think about Jay way too often in the mornings. But I figured today was perfect.
Poor morning. You get it? Poor morning.
That was pretty good. That was an almost.
There was
close.
one other thing I was hoping that we could razz Nadj about today.
Let's do it.
As you see, I also do not dress up. So as I was, do I wear a nice fancy shirt? Do I wear
No.
a t-shirt? I was like, no, I'm gonna make
No.
Jay proud.
Be yourself. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I say again,
I appreciate the
this
love.
is a cult.
You look gorgeous though. More power to you.
But that T-shirt is dope.
Thank
That is
you.
actually pretty dope.
Space boy, you know.
Oh, I love them. Shout out to Space
No.
Boy. If y'all want to make some T-shirts for the Nadjah Jea show,
That's a good point.
I mean, put it out there. Balls in
Absol-
your court.
Abs-
So tell us what's going on in Wilmington.
Well, you know, there's holidays galore. So I've got lots of holiday events here. That is not all that's happening, but that's a lot of what our focus is. Holidays at Hagley, the entire museum is covered in lights and just spectacular holiday decorations. They're open, you know, Monday through Sunday, but every Friday through Sunday you can bring the kids in to do a little ornament activity. They're making gears because. Don't know if you know, but that is the site of the first gunpowder mills of DuPont's
did
in the
not
area.
know that.
So they're big on gears and, you know, fancy gears. Like
I'm lost.
like literal gears, right?
What's that got to do with gunpowder?
mills, like
You have to
gears.
grind it.
Yeah.
Well,
Grinding your gears.
go ahead and grind.
Oh man, of course he brought it back to coffee. There's also a gingerbread house competition going on there. You cannot eat the gingerbread houses, Jay. I just need to warn you before
What's
you
the
go
fun in
in.
that?
I
and
tell you what,
ruin
if you
children's
walk me
dreams.
into a gingerbread house right now, I'm going in like Godzilla 1,000% because I smell meat everywhere. That I'm hungry, and I'll stop there.
I am
Continue,
happy
please.
that I'm a vegetarian because this bacon is not doing it for me. But like normally, I would be.
Oh my God.
Taking over
we
this
need
whole thing to eat
gingerbread
with you.
competition. Gingerbread house competition.
Ooh.
But with Pop-Tarts.
Okay, back to Hagley. You know what's
Yes.
really awesome? They're doing free admission right now for teachers, frontline healthcare workers, anybody that's putting themselves out on the line, to take care of emergency response right now.
That's
free to
awesome.
enter Hagley.
Nice.
More holiday stuff. 2 Nutcracker traditions have been shelved this year thanks to COVID, but both long-standing ballet institutions have reinvented themselves to give us a dose of that holiday magic. First State Ballet Theater typically graces the stage of the Grand with their professional production. Unfortunately, they can't do that, but they are going to be broadcasting their 2019 performance on the big screen at Theater N. That's December 19th and 20th, getting a little ahead of myself, but I know it's going to sell out, so I just wanted to plug that real quickly.
Okay.
Nice.
Wilmington Ballet Academy of the Dance, they've put together a week-long interactive virtual celebration in collaboration with other local institutions, featuring Academy of the Dance alum Akua Parker, who went on to dance for the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater and Dance Theater of Harlem. They're also going to have other professional guests from the Dance Theater of Harlem, New York City Ballet, and Ukrainian and Irish dance ensembles as well. Each of the 6 nights features something different: live, pre-recorded performances, family fun activities that you can do from the comfort of your own home. And fun fact, the software they're presenting it on was developed here in Wilmington. It's called Marquee.
Marquis.
But it's a really cool, no coding necessary, web-based builder for virtual spaces. So a lot of organizations this year have utilized that technology to bring the arts to life, on the screen, since we can't be doing it on the stage like we're used to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But speaking of, arts institution bringing things to life, the Grand has put together the Winter in Wilmington light show. Have you guys seen that down on the riverfront
Yeah.
yet?
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
see the
that
lights
is.
popping
Okay.
down, popping up next to Frawley Stadium.
Yeah.
So what's that? Have you gone through and done that yet with Harlow?
I haven't yet. I do
Okay.
have my tickets for this weekend. I have driven over it from 95 and looked down on
That's
it.
where I saw it.
I haven't
it's
even
really
seen it
cute.
yet.
It's really, really cute.
It's so it's $25 per car, so you can
Okay.
bring the whole COVID family together to do just a little drive through.
5 to 7 people per car.
I'm gonna bring my COVID family.
Oh, they did make a note that
my whole,
Stop.
my whole COVID family. We're gonna roll
Honey,
through.
Come on, you don't have a quarantine crew. You have
No,
to
I
have a
do.
quarantine crew.
I know. I just had a different image, but I totally understand it, and I'm giving you a hard time. Sorry.
That's fair. I deserve it. Moving on.
Yes.
Speaking of holiday light spectaculars, Winter's Outdoor 3D Holiday Light Show continues through December 12th. 3D images, videos, lights, and sounds create an immersive experience. You can also take a self-guided tour of their Yuletide tour inside of the house. Stop for some hot cocoa. They've got mulled wine, caroling, or you can go shopping in the museum for any last-minute gifts that you might need. They're also doing a live ice sculpture carving on December 12th and 19th at noon, which is just cool. Part of admission. You can come out and watch that whole artistic process. Delaware Art Museum brings back their Winter Festival this Saturday, 10 to 4 p.m. A little bit different because it needs to be outdoors, obviously, but you can still shop all the regional artisans and local fine food and beverage purveyors that they would normally bring to you, all while listening to caroling in the background. What else is happening? Melo Mani is doing a virtual performance on Saturday, free. You can join in with a live chat with the artist during the performance and after. I'm sorry. Join a live chat with others during the performance and a virtual reception with artists and performers afterwards. The Cartoon Christmas Trio. You know who the Cartoon Christmas Trio is? You don't know who the Cartoon Christmas Trio is?
Sorry.
No.
All right, think Charlie Brown.
Okay.
Christmas special.
Okay.
Brought to life by jazz musicians in front of you.
That sounds pretty incredible, actually.
It's really incredible.
I'm surprised you don't know about it.
No.
So I'm very surprised, Jay. I was looking at you.
I'm
Wow,
sorry.
you've
I'm
let
sorry.
us
Like
down.
there's 2. All right, I'm sorry.
They're really awesome. They're doing a free virtual performance Saturday night in partnership with Market Street Music as well. Okay. Santa's at Brandywine Zoo this weekend. Bellefonte Brewing Company is having an ugly sweater party.
We need that.
See,
We should definitely have an ugly sweater day.
You have tons of ugly sweaters on a regular basis in your life. So,
Good job. I'll take that. Continue, please, Brianna.
No, I mean, I can keep going on, but the point is, there's tons to do.
There's tons to do.
How do you stay so informed and in touch with everything that's going on?
She's a Delaware fairy.
I mean, I'm just awesome.
She's everywhere at all times.
Okay.
All you got to do is blink twice.
Jay, I would hope you'd know the answer to that as one of my board members for INWilmington.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know from that angle, what you actually do, but still, it's a lot to know, and I know that people don't necessarily send all of this information to you, so
She's
like,
awesome.
You're just, I mean, we can write it off
you know
at that.
what?
Yeah.
I'm glad that we have her because we'd be struggling trying to figure out what's on Facebook.
What do you know? But okay.
Well, thank you so much for the rundown, the INWilmington rundown, and we're excited to hear what else is going on in Wilmington. This is going to be a regular thing, right? This is going to be a regular thing.
Since this is your first time, Brianna, if we have a second, can you kind of tell the people about you and your background and your involvement? Because you are like really a pillar to what goes on and kind of keeping everybody connected in Wilmington.
Well,
tell us about you. Yeah.
So I'm the campaign manager for the INWilmington Marketing Group, which is a nonprofit that helps support arts and culture in the area, but really anything and everything, whether it's a restaurant establishment, virtual performance, something coming to life on stage, we try to, bring it to the people. So, those looking for things to do know what's going on, and arts marketers looking to get the word out know how to do it. Try to be that one-stop shop for all of that. So you can check out INWilmde.com. We're in the process of launching an all-new website, which is going to be launched by the end of the month, and I'm so excited.
Woo.
Thank you for making me not say it, because I would have definitely messed it up.
Next time you're going to say it.
I did want to
INWilmde.com. There you go.
Well, thank you so much. We're
Thanks for
excited to
having
see you.
me.
Our next show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
be here next week.
Yeah, I'll be there with coffee, the good stuff.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, Chef Dana, what's going on? We almost done. Where my plate?
Look, it is coming. I got the beef bourguignon going in the pot. We've sauteed the onions, the carrots, the mushrooms, put in a little bit of flour to kind of make a roux. And then we put in, what do we put in there? Some tomato paste. We put in some thyme, some bay leaf. I put the beef back in. And of course, we got to get Jay's bacon back up in
My
here.
bacon.
I'm sorry.
I stepped out for a second to use the restroom, and I came back in, and I could not believe how good the room smells. So I wish that you guys could just understand what it smells like in here, but it is a wonderful thing to have at work right
What
now.
is it?
So
Eating good in DET's neighborhood.
Yes.
Huh. Okay. Why don't we go to the next segment? Quickly.
Next, we have a good friend of mine, Cherné Altovise, jewelry stylist, entrepreneur, and new mommy, who's going to be joining us. Thank you, Cherné, so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. So for the people who don't know, Cherné is a Delawarean. She went to the University of Delaware, and literally, as we're speaking, she's making jewelry. Like, since I've met her, she's always had stuff in her hands, making necklaces, bracelets, all kinds of stuff.
I love that.
Yes. So can you give us a little bit of background in how you got started in jewelry making and styling and designing?
Yeah, so I actually started designing, making, and also selling my jewelry at the age of 10. So how it started pretty much was that I was always into like fashion because my mom actually has a background in fashion. And I would like cut up my clothes, all types of stuff, because I would want to give them away. So I'm like, no, these pants, I know they short and they flooded, but I can make them into shorts. And my mom was like sick of that. So I don't know how she had the idea, but she ended up giving me a jewelry kit. And it was like one of those like basic ones. It wasn't anything like too crazy, too special. But when I started making like little bracelets and things, my grandmother or my aunt, they would come by and they'd be like, oh, let me get one. Let me buy one for the lady at church or somebody's birthday and things like that. So that's one of the things that I always say, like, you kind of got to nurture what your kids are already into and just go with that. Because for me, that pretty much is like self-gratification right there. Oh, well, they like it, they're buying it. Let me keep going. Let me try this. And that also stemmed way people just giving me beads. Like, oh, she likes this, let's give her some beads. And I literally been doing ever since. Or my grandmother being like, oh, I'm gonna buy you a table at this church flea market we having. And that's just literally how it started. And then in 2009, well, I was in college and I've always worked, but I think I got my like first refund check from the school tuition. And I was like, yes. And I was like, hold on, wait, this whole thing. And I was already doing like, little shows and stuff, but I wanted to do like little vending events, but I wanted to do like a full blown collection. And so that was like my first collection. That was like my first coming out under Cherné Altovise, which is my first and middle name. And I did a fashion show and I did it in my church hall and a whole like thing. We had models, we had, a whole thing. And then I sold all the jewelry afterwards and that went really well. And I've been debuting my collections and jewelry ever since then. So it became an official business in 2009, which still puts us at 10 years worth of business, but I've actually started and being self-taught since the age of 10.
That's so funny. Like, and you're super, it's like, she's so talented. Like I remember when I first met you, you had the storefront on Market Street and all of the pieces were gorgeous. Like, and the way you could tell she was just a designer stylist, period, because the layout of the store was just like, fly, honey, fly. So then she also used to have, I don't know if you still do it, but you had the magazine, the lookbook that you
What's the lookbook?
She literally made a magazine with all the looks that matched her jewelry, and she would hire models. Like, let me tell you
really
something.
smart.
She ain't nobody to play with, okay?
But that's smart too.
Yes,
you know
very,
what I mean?
very, very.
You see a lot of creatives who are really good at creating whatever their specialty is,
Yes.
content,
Yep.
but the business isn't always there. So
Yes, so I met you around that time. And I was featured in one of them. Me and Ishmael, I caught myself trying to model. And then you do the book bag drive every year. And I know you hosted that outside the storefront a few times. You've also been featured on VH1. But so can you tell us a little bit about the book bag drive that you have every year?
Yes. So my book bag giveaway, I started, I think this year was the 6th annual, and it was kind of weird because of COVID and everything. So it was the first year that I didn't do anything physical, and no one didn't know this at the time, but I really didn't want to risk anything because I was newly pregnant. So I ended up doing this year, I ended up doing like laptops. So of course we're used to giving away 300 book bags. I couldn't give away that many laptops, but we were able to give away laptops because I also have sponsors every year, and they had already sent in some of their money. So, like even with the contributions of my own, I knew it probably wasn't going to happen, but they were like, we got to do something. So it's really a community driven thing. We've been sponsored by Wawa, Jimmy John's at one point, Rita's, Water Ice. Some of our smaller businesses have been Trendy Turban, Glacier Auto, a couple podcasts, Scare You to Sleep. I remember, but yeah, it's a community effort. Even though everyone's not always from the area, it's definitely driven through other small businesses like myself that just joined on because I was doing it by myself. And I never, everyone does one, but for me, it's important because my very first one, I did it at the Boys and Girls Club, and it was in the one, I forget what the address is, but everyone doesn't have access to the really big ones that are in the middle of the city. They don't. People were literally, children was walking other children over to the backpack giveaway. So that's why I do it. I don't think that it's never too many because everyone doesn't have complete access to get to all of them. So it's definitely important. And I wish we could have did more this year because with virtual learning, it was a lot strenuous on the parents more than just regular school supplies, which is already, the list is already crazy for the regular year. But now adding laptops and tablets in for multiple kids. So we felt like we had to do something. So that's what we did.
That's really awesome.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, Jay.
I would like to know, like, how would you describe your art, your jewelry, and like what sort of inspires the pieces that you create?
Okay, so it is a great question. So I actually make jewelry for the everyday fashion icon, which includes men, women, and kids. But I really pride myself in jewelry that tells a story, has meaning, and create lasting memories. So what that means is, my first customers, as I mentioned, I was a child. So it was my grandmother, my aunts, my mom. And I was always inspired by their fashion. So for me, it's timeless. So I work with a lot of pearls, but I might update them in a different way that can be worn every day. For example, like the hoops that I have on now. I work with a lot of gemstones, and all the gemstones have properties and have meanings. And then I make a lot of pieces with stainless steel, sterling silver, 14 karat gold fill. So they're long lasting, and I pride myself in my quality as well. So that's how I describe my designs. Although it changes from collection to collection, I have signature pieces and signature wire work, which Nadjah was talking about earlier, that ties it in. So if you brought something from me 5 years ago, I promise you we have something now that might match it.
Interesting.
So you can add it on.
And so those are a lot of different little disciplines that I see just within what you're saying, like the different kinds of metals, the different stones, the wire. Those are all, like, how do you learn all those different aspects to it?
So I'm actually self-taught. Okay. So it really just comes from.
Wait. She has what we like to call vision. Such losers.
Speak for yourself. But go ahead.
So I actually went to school for fashion merchandising at University of Delaware, but with jewelry design, they didn't have it. And a lot of colleges didn't have like what I was looking for a major in jewelry. So I just went to school for fashion merchandising. And I have a stylist background and managerial background in the retail industry. But as far as my jewelry is concerned, I'm self-taught.
I love it.
Wow. Well, I'm so happy that we were able to have you on the show. I want to say congratulations on the new baby that'll be here next year. That is going to be the most fashionable, jewelried up,
I love it,
artistic baby. Let me tell you, beautiful, honey, okay? And also congratulations on your recent nuptials with your hubby. It's always good to see our generation stepping up into these type of commitments, because it ain't nothing to be afraid of, right?
Right. I don't know why you look at me like that.
No,
I'm married with kids.
Be in agreement.
Why am I being attacked? I don't understand. But yes, I agree.
In agreement, yes. But I'm so happy for you, and I'm glad that I was able to get you on the show and have everyone see how awesome you are. So thank you again, my dear, and we will...
Make sure you shout out. Wait, how do we get in touch with your stuff?
Yes, your Instagram, your website, all of that.
Yes, so on all social media platforms, I am on IG, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, all of it, under Cherné Altovise. Not gonna spell it, but I hope you guys have like a little thing. But it's my first name Cherné, business second name Altovise, and also my website, simple as day, same thing, ChernéAltovise.com. And we also do local pickup and delivery, so that's free. Especially around the holiday season. You can come to my pickup location in Wilmington, but we ship internationally online as well.
Okay.
I think her name like really enhances the
I know,
brand.
she-
Like the name is just fancy and it's just enough.
Pinky
You know,
up.
Cherné Altovise.
I'm wearing Cherné.
I have my Cherné on right now, my Cherné Altovise.
All right, that's enough. Don't embarrass me in front of my friend.
My bourguignon. I'm going to have my bourguignon from Chef Dana.
Well, thank you so much, Cherné. And now we're going to go to this pre-recorded segment that I did with my former high school.
From the Delaware Military Academy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Oui.
So we're continuing our conversation about coping with COVID, and today we have the honor of having my former, we have our commandant. So what were you when I was in high school?
I think I was your disciplinarian and athletic director.
Oh, and now you're the commandant, principal for all you regular people. And we also have, you were the musical director, and now you are the school counselor from Delaware Military Academy, who are joining us today to talk about how they've been coping with COVID. So thank you.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
This is awesome.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah.
So what we want to get into is how has the school, how have you as the commandant and as the counselor been dealing with COVID, just when it comes to the students and when it comes to the administrative duties and the staff? Tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, I guess a lot of it has to do with the details centered around every decision that has to be made. You know, you can't just make simple decisions without taking into account all the precautions and necessary requirements to deal with, you know, with COVID and the distancing and the safety factors that go with everything. So simple decisions that you would make in a normal time aren't really done that way because you have to take into consideration everything else that goes along with it. So
Right.
everything is extended out and has to be thought through, you know, it has to be scrutinized.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
angles. And I mean, as a school counselor, I find myself, you know, helping not just the students, but, you know, talking a lot with the staff, you know, kind of gauging where they feel, bring it back to the admin team. You know, as many educators are right now, just kind of overwhelmed, feeling overworked. You know, we had one mention, and I'll echo it here, is that, you know, a lot of these teachers, even if they've been teaching for years, they're reinventing everything they've done to make it virtual. So it's like being a first-year teacher again.
Yeah.
The amount of planning and prep that goes into that is well beyond, you know, what they're used to doing anyway, you know, for either semester to semester or year to year. So it's tough in that way.
Yeah. So you guys closed down March 13th.
Closed down March 13th, and we, you know, went to all virtual, you know, at that time. And, you know, it was more of a, you know, I mean, everybody was in that same boat of kind of a little bit of a scramble to figure out how we're going to teach these kids
Yeah.
100% completely online. So luckily we were in the process of going to a one-to-one computing initiative. So we had a plan in place as to how we were going to utilize that computer system. So that helped greatly when having to work out from March to the start of this year. So, you know, we got through March to June, and then we had, you know, all that time from March till the start of this school year to figure out how we were going to educate our cadets online virtually. So,
Right. So what was the reason for wanting to teach them virtually prior to the shutdown?
well, we weren't going to teach them virtually. We were just going to begin utilizing a Chromebook
Oh, okay.
in class
Okay.
and kind of start to try and move away from, you know, hard textbooks and things like that, and try and
Okay.
do everything more online, more streamlined.
Yeah.
So I think we were a
Modern.
little bit behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were using
You're the cool
textbooks
school.
and right.
Get with
trying
the
to-
times,
Get
you
with
know.
the
Yeah.
You know, try
Absolutely.
keeping
Okay.
up with them.
Yeah.
So how did you relay to the students that you guys were shutting down?
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously,
sudden,
when
yeah.
they
Yeah.
first put it out there, they said, they were going to be closed down for 2 weeks. I think everybody kind of knew that wasn't going to be the case. So we really told our families, to be determined as
Yeah.
far as when we'll be returning, and then just really a lot of it is just communicating. We would send out, daily communication as to where we were, what the
Yeah.
plan was. What the expectations were from the cadets, and and we kind of just went about doing it that way. And a lot of it really, to John's point was, a lot of it was, about the kids and, what are the kids going to do? But you have to take into consideration your staff and their apprehension and their concerns, especially when, cadets are returning to the building. They all have families, they have kids.
Yeah.
So you have to manage that part of it as well. So it's a slippery slope. It's a juggling act to make sure that your staff feels that they're supported and that they're being looked after, which is genuine, and obviously figuring out a way to eventually begin, matriculating these cadets back into the building and getting them some in-person instruction. I think one of the biggest parts of it is just the social interaction. I mean, the cadets wanting to be with one another, getting back to playing sports. Our school's very passionate about our athletic programs.
Yeah.
So, they want to get back out there and get after it. And so it's good to bring that stuff back, but you have to do it in a safe manner that, is consistent with the CDC guidelines.
He, and he hit it on the head a while back when we talk about you can't please everybody. You got to make these really difficult decisions. And it's very hard to make everybody happy with the decision you're going to make.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has different beliefs on how this thing should go, and you just try to, I guess you just yield to safety a little bit, and you want to make sure you're keeping people protected. I think that back in March, we knew it was coming. It was on the horizon.
Yeah.
We had met almost every day leading up to it to talk about what it might even look like if we had to do this. And I think we got a jump on that because of it. We were able to, even though we canceled, we ended school on a Friday, we had to, facilitate kids coming back to get their gear, teachers coming back to get the stuff they needed, and do all the things like that to kind of get the ball rolling in the right direction. But we were able to start up after only a week, I think, of being kind of out of sorts, and then getting back into it where, and luckily we're a small school, we're, a charter school, we have a close-knit kind of family. But beyond, meeting the needs of those kids that didn't have the technology at home and the Wi-Fi at home and things like that, we understand at least the struggle that would be for the larger districts and trying to make those same things happen. So
yeah, we're lucky that we're able to pivot a lot faster than some of the districts. I mean, because DMA is its own district, so decisions and things like that can flow through much quicker. Where if we need to change quickly, we can do that. So we're lucky in that fact that we're able to do that. So, but as John said, we were rather prepared.
With your seven-tier
yes, we had
plan?
a 7-stage plan to return.
Oh my gosh.
And I think right now we're stage 5.
Yeah.
With the return of our
and even as recent
incoming
as last
freshmen.
week, we changed kind of what our interpretation of this week was going to look like.
Yeah.
We found a lot of our teachers were overworked and felt the stress of it all, which was obvious.
Yeah.
And the kids too. Just because they're home and working doesn't mean they don't have other things. We have kids that are babysitting their siblings and things like that because child care centers aren't open or what have you. And we decided this week to be kind of a makeup week for our kids to get caught up at the end of the marking period, a chance for our teachers to get caught up. And then, like we said, we were talking to you earlier about it, but normally in the summertime we would have our cadet orientation. Ninth grade cadets would come in, learn the ropes before starting.
I remember that.
Yeah.
The day my dad dropped me off, I was like, why are you doing this to me? I remember the day he told me I was going to a military school. And I was like, I was at a carnival.
You mean this wasn't your choice?
Oh, yes, it was.
You loved it.
But so for people who don't know, Delaware Military Academy is the first military academy in the state of Delaware. It is going to be 18 this year. It opened in 2003.
That's right.
And the first graduating class was in 2006. I graduated in 2010, so this is like a mini reunion because 10 years
10-year
ago,
anniversary.
Back in June, oh God,
Uh-huh.
wow, I'm showing my age
It
here.
was the Pennington Parade.
Oh my God, it really was.
She looks
so
exactly the same
I really
too.
do.
I mean,
Listen,
she does not look
I eat my
one bit
vegetables.
different.
But I think it's really important that you're bringing up the fact that you're paying attention to both the students and the staff.
And what's going on in the state of Delaware. So
Right,
I mean
right.
that's a major component of it is, keeping an eye on the cases where we are percentage-wise, through the DPH.
Staying informed.
And staying informed and staying in touch. And I have to give, credit to the DPH, as far as them communicating and letting us know, exactly where everything stands. And they've done a great job.
Well, I'm proud to say I am a former DMA Seahawk. I was actually on the soccer team. You remember that?
Yeah.
I only did it
I
for the prom pictures, though, because I wanted to be tan and toned.
Whatever you got to do.
So my mom was like, I'm so embarrassed. But thank you for coming. I'm really excited about this relationship we're building because I'm going to come and be a cadet again, guys. I can't wait. Can you tell us about your open enrollment?
Yeah, absolutely. So open enrollment, for those who don't know, open enrollment for choice schools started November 2nd, and it ends January 13th. So normally we would hold an open house that, families could come in and tour the school, ask questions, and do all those things, but being the times that they are, that's not a possibility. So we created a virtual open house, which is on our DMA website, www.demillicad.org, and our video is there, so it gives you a virtual tour of DMA. And to register or apply for DMA, you go to schoolchoice.org.
Okay.
And so you have from now till January 13th. But
okay. Well, thank you so much, and thank you all for watching. This school is not for bad kids. It's for kids who want something different. Take it from me. Look at me.
there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody, and it is time to talk to Chef Dana because it's time to get down. So before we dig in, tell us one more time what we're eating, how you prepared it, all the details. Let us know.
Okay, so today you're eating a beef bourguignon. It's kind of like a French version of a stew. We basically sauteed the bacon and the beef, and then took that out the pan. Then we put in there all the vegetables. So we cook them in that like bacon fat. So they should be full of flavor. Hit it with a little bit of flour to make kind of like what we would think of like a roux. And then we deglaze the pan with the red wine and the beef broth. Add in the tomato paste and the spices, the thyme and the bay leaf.
What does deglazing the pan mean?
Deglazing the pan would mean that we would basically use like an acid, i.e. the wine, to pull the flavor out of the pan. Because you've been cooking in that pan, so it's built up all these beautiful flavors, but you just need to release them back into the liquid.
Let them go. Let them go.
Obviously, I'm not a chef, but sometimes when he talks in technical terms, I fool myself into thinking, maybe I could be a chef. And then I come back to reality. But he started using science. But
cup of noodles does not make you a chef. Okay, don't try.
And we have dessert too. So tell us about the dessert.
Okay, so for the dessert, we just did a very classic bread pudding. Very simply, it just had the milk. I'd use a little sweetened condensed milk to get a little bit of depth of flavor, your eggs, your sugar, and then from there, you literally can put in whatever spices you want. Today, we did just a little cinnamon and nutmeg, so that's why I said it's more of a classic bread pudding today, with a little caramel sauce drizzled on there.
What kind of a wine would be a good pairing for this meal?
Ooh,
just random. I don't even drink wine.
You could always go with like a Cabernet Sauvignon would work perfect because you're using that red wine in the stew and so forth, and the beef bourguignon. That'd go perfect.
Yeah, I smell it. Cool. Are we ready to rock and roll?
Okay, let's do it. Moment of truth.
And I'm hungry. Outside of how good it tastes.
The bacon.
The bacon?
The bacon got me.
You can taste the bacon? I love that you can taste the bacon in there.
Are these pearl onions?
Those are pearl onions, soaked in a little bit of vermouth.
Oh, what?
Hot vermouth.
Oh.
You find it in like martinis.
No, I'm a big martini guy, so when you say that. Wow.
So they got a little something to it.
I don't have to buy lunch today, like all these different things, you know what I'm saying? This is just such a plus.
Okay, let's do the bread pudding.
But I just got started on my...
Take a bite.
All right, now for the bread pudding.
Okay.
Hold
Ready?
on. I gotta kind of clean off the spoon.
Oh God, you didn't even clear the spoon. Like,
I did my best. How'd you clear it?
what?
How'd you clear it?
Leave me alone.
I gotta swallow down the beef, but it's delicious. And it's like all the different textures are in there and all that kind of stuff. You got a little bit of crunchy bacon. Oh man. I think I could just. But how much more is left?
We got a little something left in the pot.
Okay, cool. All right, here's the bread pudding. And I love bread pudding.
I'm surprised you didn't stick the whole bowl in your throat.
Oh my gosh. No, seriously. There are certain foods and certain dessert sweet things. And I literally mean this. When it goes, when you first take that first swallow, I go. That's what happens inside of my soul. It happens inside of my stomach, and that's what this did for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of like torn right now because I want to just plow in on this and this, and I'm torn. It's a great dilemma. It's a major first world problem.
Jake is really excited about a lot of things.
I love bread
I'm
pudding.
noticing that.
I love bread pudding.
So Chef Dana, can you tell us about your fabulous show that will have us all eating up in here, gaining weight and whatnot?
So you guys can catch the Chef Dana Cooking Show on Mondays on DETV at 11 a.m. right after Good Morning Wilmington. We've been on a little bit of hiatus, but we are excited. We're coming back, I believe, around December 14th. And we're excited to show you everything that we're doing this season. The other things I have going on, I have a program called Little Chefs, and you can go right to chefdana.eventbrite.com. And we cook with the little ones. I know Jay works with youth as well. We cook with the little ones every other Sunday at 3 p.m. And these kids are amazing. I mean, what they're doing, I'm like, whoa, if they're learning this fast, we're going to be out of business like in the next 5 years.
Wow. At what age is it what's a good age to really start teaching a kid how to cook? You know what I mean? Because they don't get it in my house, so.
Well, I normally say like around 5 or 6. Of course, you're going to want to monitor them and be in the kitchen with them and so forth. But you can start showing them little things like how to, of course, use the microwave, use the toaster. You could make pancakes with them. You could cook sausage with them, things like that. My kids are, 9, 8, and 6. I mean, they're making omelets and so forth. So hopefully one day we'll get to the point where we'll just say, hey, Cece, can you go in there and make Daddy that salmon and asparagus that you did last week?
I'm not doing my job because I need to get Journey and the twins ready.
So I think that we need to put together a Chef Dana summer camp for the kids.
There we go.
That way, by the time we get to next fall, I don't have to do anything except buy groceries, and the kids can just do.
Isn't that what you do now?
But now, the thing is, if they get formal training, because, excuse me. Neither me nor my wife are, that's not our thing. So if we can get the babies to do it, we can just kick back and sit back cook that food, and it'll be fantastic. You know what I mean? So how many months do you think we need, Chef Dana, before you get my 5-year-old daughter ready to take care of the whole family? Right?
Well,
that's a good question. Wait, so with musicians and with singers, right? Either you have the capacity to you have to have the music gene. You have people who can learn the piano and but what about that for cooking? Can you do that?
You know what? This is why he has Little Chefs, and he will make sure to detail that on that show. Jay, enjoy your lunch. Thank you, Chef Dana, for this delicious meal.
Is your show
lunch
over?
And yes, it's over.
I think we should extend it.
That's your problem. That's your problem. That's why we get in trouble. I'm not, Y'all keep watching Monday and Wednesday, live at 10. Oh, no. It's time to go. Make sure you go on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram at Good Morning Wilmington, Facebook, Good Morning Wilmington, and email us at goodmorningwilm@detvch.com.
I really wish that y'all could have seen the face that Nadjah just gave me when I made that smacking sound. And she's still going in on me. I love it. I love y'all. Have a beautiful day.
Have a wonderful day.
My birthday's tomorrow. There we go.